Ross Gerber wants to force Musk out. On-top cocktails, swastikas, protests. Should you sell your Tesla stock? It's time to sell. Is it time to sell?
Okay, this is, by the way, that DOGE says never surrender on the side. That's Musk and Lutnick. That is Trump's Secretary of Commerce. He also did all the headhunting and placed all the top people with the Trump administration. And he's working very closely with Musk on DOGE. He actually trademarked, I believe, the name DOGE, and he said he didn't come up with it, but it was his idea to use it for this effort. So I covered Lordstown Motors extensively, and that was Donald Trump's last EV association, and that effort was going great until Biden presidency rolled in, and this organized wave of attacks took place. And I am just going to relate to you, and that ultimately delisted Lordstown Motors and kept a great electric pickup truck that would have been selling like hotcakes right now at $55K had it not been attacked by, some say, Soros and you know, basically the deep state. It is a real thing. Anyway, let me go through my take on the Tesla attacks and why the hodlers should remain calm and carry on vis-a-vis the Lordstown Motors experience. Okay, the first thing that's just come up is Ross Gerber, who is a venture capitalist, who was an early backer of Tesla, who owns, 1 million shares or whatever, obviously shorting the stock. He just went on and called for Elon Musk to be replaced as CEO of Tesla. This is the worst idea I've ever heard in my life. This is akin to when Jobs was replaced at Apple and the horrible calamity that followed. I have done a video on why I do not believe Elon Musk is replaceable. It's in my catalog. I'm going to try to put a flag on the top of this slide here. You can check it out. Elon Musk is the person that we need to run Tesla. It's not going to work with anyone else. And a lot of that has to do with Elon's risk profile. And, his current activities have to do with his risk profile. But anyway, so this is the latest attack. Ross Gerber wants Elon to resign. Here's the thing. Elon Musk called him an idiot on X. And ever since then, because Ross Gerber was saying some stupid, some business suggestion, as if he knows anything about manufacturing electric vehicles. And he was criticizing and insulting Musk. Musk called him an idiot. Now he has a vendetta, okay? This is what is behind this. And also, he's holding shares, but he is shorting. I bet he's shorting 3 times the amount he's holding. Okay? So this is a nothing burger. And Ross Gerber, I believe this is based in his personality, his personal feelings towards Musk, and for no other reason. And by the way, he picked a fight with Elon. Elon didn't pick it with him. So this, I think we can disregard. I do not believe this is going to be a factor. I just wanted to mention it. Ross Gerber, don't pay attention to him. He should sell all his stock and get out of the company if he doesn't like it. Okay? Now, this relates to Lordstown Motors. There is a deep state misinformation campaign against Tesla. Okay? There was one against Lordstown Motors. Now, I have extensive videos on this in my catalog. I also did a video pertaining to this subject called Short and Distort. And you can look at either of those. I'll try to put some flags in or links in the bottom of this for this description for this. But make no mistake, there is a deep state. I don't know, maybe you don't want to call it a deep state, maybe you don't want to put a tinfoil hat on, but there's definitely a cabal of, let's say, three-letter agencies and deep money pockets that get together and coordinate. Now, the recent actions are not grassroots responses. They're not really there. They're not real. Okay? I saw the protest at the Tesla store in Los Angeles, and I was saying to myself, you throw a party in Los Angeles, you can't get 10 people to show up. How did they get all those people to show up on cue with all the other demonstrations across the country, all coordinated? Obviously, it's coordinated, and no one's bothering to go into the backgrounds of any of these protesters. The word, there were a lot of things that came to mind. One was Hindenburg had put out a short report against Lordstown Motors. Hindenburg also shorted Adani Group, I believe, in India. They discovered, and they alleged, George Soros was behind that attack by Hindenburg. And if you use that as a basis, George Soros was in the attack against Lordstown Motors, which was in fact an attack against Trump's first term industrial policy. So anybody that thinks the media can't be manipulated, look at Project Mockingbird, where the CIA had agents in every single press outlet for years that would tweak and blunt stories and bury stories. And if you look at, and I'm not going to get too deep in this, the algorithms that run on our social media, if those algorithms, for example, are tweaked to favor videos that are anti-Tesla, guess what? That's all you're going to see. But I do believe, and I think it will be borne out. And I just saw a girl that Musk is singling out. She said, I'm a member of, anybody that's a member of an organization, these organizations actually are lobbyist groups, and my experience has been that they are funded, okay? So these are not grassroots responses. They're not real. The polling, now Rasmussen isn't the most independent poller, but Rasmussen shows that the majority of people are in favor of Trump, in favor of Musk and the DOGE efforts. I mean, I'm sorry, this is completely fabricated. And this was the case also with Lordstown Motors. Every possible media outlet, down all the way from the top, all the way down to local news, print, you name it, business news, Jim Cramer, all those guys, they're all in on it. Believe me, it's unbelievable. And if anybody, now you don't have to join my Patreon. You go to my Patreon. I have a video listed there that I can't put anywhere else that shows actual, real evidence of media being manipulated and misrepresented at a critical time for Lordstown Motors to sabotage their efforts. And I did a screen recording of it. I have it. So anyway, these are not grassroots actions. They're not real, okay? And neither all this ginned up response, forget about it, okay? It is deep state. There is a deep state. Don't call it deep state. Call it opposition, whatever. But there are organizations that do launch these campaigns. So let's just move on here. Now, you have to ignore all information that's not from Musk or Tesla, okay? All other information on Tesla is designed to trigger algorithmic trading bots and crash the stock price. Believe me, all the algos, what they do is scan head. I mean, now you have AI. I'm sure they're even more sophisticated. The more headlines they can get out that are negative about Tesla stock, the more these trading bots will push the price down and crash the stock. And of course, if you're a hodler and you're holding, Tesla seems to be holding at 250. I don't know. I can't predict the price, although I'm going to do a time series forecast on it. But the point is, that's the real reason for all this, okay? This information, every MSNBC, all these other sources, even the most benign sources, you cannot trust them. If the information, believe me, does not come from Musk or Tesla, you can't believe it. Now, just recently, there was a headline that said Musk was getting the plans for the U.S. invasion of China. The administration said that's absolutely not true. Okay. And there's no reason that, I don't even know if Musk would want that information. Even if he did, it's not something that would happen. I do not believe. The point being, the Wall Street Journal did an article on this, and they backed their sources. And this is completely false. And this exact same thing happened with Lordstown Motors. And this is, again, what the goals of this opposition, and these are goals I do not think they're going to reach, but what they did reach, because Lordstown Motors was in a different situation, it didn't have Trump was not in office, and they had the full weight of the political machine against them. They want to get the stock delisted, and they want to put the founders in jail. And they'll use SEC, DOJ, so forth. That is what they did to Lordstown Motors, blatantly. And again, see my video catalog on this. Again, I have the Lordstown Motors playbook. Deja vu all over again. Trump's last EV effort, and maybe I'll flash a picture of him with the Endurance electric pickup truck in front of the White House, was attacked using these same methods during the Biden administration. So as soon as Biden became president, and this is not a political channel, I'm not a political commentator, but the attacks on Lordstown Motors on all fronts, okay? New media, old media, print, business, new media, you name it. SEC investigation, aimless SEC investigations that eat up SHE expenses and tie up attorneys in the firm for years, and DOJ investigations, foundless DOJ investigations. All of this was resolved, and, it was all found to be hooey. Steve Burns, the original founder of the company, was forced out again, by the business news channel, Kramer, and the rest of them, in a blatant attack. I mean, again, see my videos on this, but this is what happened the last time Trump tried to launch his reindustrialization policy. And this also was an EV manufacturer. By the way, Foxconn was involved in this as well. Okay. This is nothing new. This is Yogi Berra. This is deja vu all over again. It really is. And now there's reasons it's not going to work this time. And I'm going to go into those. Let's go to the next thing. Yeah, this time is different. Now, Musk has, really aligned himself with Trump and the Trump presidency. I believe, and I made a video, I think a year ago. You can look at my catalog. It says they're out to destroy Elon Musk. And I'll tell you, this goes all the way back to Hindenburg's attack on Block or the Cash App. I believe that was, to cripple the founder of Twitter, who runs Block, to keep him from backing Elon in his purchase of Twitter when he was caught, flat-footed and did the rug pull for the stockholders. By the way, that was a forced marriage. Elon did not. That was forced to try to damage him financially, in my opinion. Now, Elon has, wrapped himself around the Trump administration with this, and I think Elon knows. Elon knows the history, and I'm sure he knows the history of Lordstown Motors as well. And by becoming part of the election of Trump, and again, not a political commentator, not a political channel. However, by doing what Elon has done, everybody said, "What's he doing? He's crazy. Ross Gerber, he should be running the company." Ross Gerber is an idiot. This is the thing. Elon now has protection against DOJ investigations, highly unlikely. SEC investigations, highly unlikely. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, highly unlikely. These were all things that were brought to weigh against Lordstown Motors. And, of course, Biden was the president at that time. The administration was looking, in my opinion, to destroy Lordstown Motors as a icon of Trump's industrial policy. I think they felt that they could not allow it to succeed. But that's why this is not going to work. Okay? It's like a three-legged stool. And with these attackers, with them being out of power in the House and Senate as well, this is going to blunt this attack and basically, break it down into a media attack, and an AstroTurf attack is what it's become. That's why I do not believe hodlers should sell. Not financial advice, my opinion. But this time is different. If you compare Tesla to Lordstown Motors, believe me, it's a whole different ball game. I believe Musk has made, unlike Ross Gerber, I think this is a brilliant decision. And there are actually advantages this time for Tesla. Department of Transportation and other regulators will not hamper the deployment of cyber taxi. So true. I don't think this would have been the case under the Biden administration. Okay? I think they would have slow-walked it. I think they would have found reasons to stop it. Of course, the General Motors, which Biden favored and Biden invited to the White House over Tesla, is now teaming up with NVIDIA for a self-driving program and likely a cyber taxi type effort. I don't believe. Just let me put my 2 cents in there. The NVIDIA self-driving is completely based on simulation. I don't know if that's going to be good enough in real world because it's a simulation. It's not real world like the real world data Tesla has. But the other thing is they're partnering with General Motors. We all know NVIDIA's business model is exorbitant pricing, bleeding their customer base dry, absolutely draining every cent. Okay, so that, I believe, is going to be the other real difference between these two self-driving efforts. I think NVIDIA's is going to be super expensive. It's going to cost GM, and it's either going to dink their profits or make them limit production because of the costs, or they're going to pass it on to the consumer, and it's going to be astronomical. Anyway, here's the thing. Musk backing Trump for president and embracing the administration like he is, this in fact may be the only way the cyber taxi program could have happened in any reasonable amount of time. I think Musk made this calculation. If Biden had stayed in the race, certainly the effort would have been hampered. Had Harris stayed in the race, she said she would change absolutely nothing Biden was doing. I don't know that they left Elon Musk a choice, but I think ultimately he's thinking about Tesla, because he's going to need Tesla to get to Mars. And he is doing what a good CEO should do, is he's protecting the company and protecting the stock price, I feel, by this association with the present administration, and enabling these new groundbreaking programs that the company, let's face it, the company in large part depends on these programs. And I think Musk made the right decision to get these programs underway. That's why I think hodlers the present administration, the DOJ and FBI will find and prosecute these actors, and this would never have happened under any other administration. So the Trump Department of Justice and deep state domestic terrorism, okay? Here's the thing. All these acts of terrorism, they've already caught 3 people that were throwing Molotov cocktails. The Attorney General for Trump was on the news today. She said they're all going to be charged. They're all going to serve 20 years, and they're not making any deals on these sentences. So this would not have happened under any other administration. And I think you can assume that these protests and other things might have taken place in some other format under, for example, the Harris administration. So, again, one of the advantages of the present DOGE efforts and association with the administration is, the enforcement protection Tesla's going to receive from this. Elon made the right decision for Tesla, DOGE. So, the robotaxi will begin testing in June 2025. Okay? That's March, April, May, June, 3 months away, 90 days. This would have been in jeopardy with any other course of action and would have put Tesla in jeopardy. Okay? So, had Musk not made the moves he's made, and I think people can argue with me, but I certainly think, had another administration been in place, they'd say, we got to take a step back and review this for safety, and they would have slow-walked it. And certainly they would have done everything they could to let General Motors and NVIDIA come out with their system in front of Tesla. There's no doubt. So again, I think, this whole course of action by Russ, opposite of what Ross Gerber thinks, the right move. Absolutely the right move. And now here's the other thing. Everybody's saying, well, Ross Gerber's saying, he's got to get back to Tesla. Elon has this all planned out. The startup production of the Model 2, or the robotaxi, will begin about the same time the DOGE is set to sunset, which is July 2026. Okay? So right when Musk is going to be done with his duties, he's going to move over to production of the robotaxi. So, again, the right move by Elon. Best use of his time during this period. Ross Gerber is an idiot. Musk should be back at the helm with much goodwill from the federal government just in time for the start of production. So, I don't, this is, a year away, 15 months away, or whatever. This is not, hodlers, look at this, read this sentence. I don't think this is any time to sell the stock. And I think Musk is a dominant male. He's got to suffer the slings and arrows of inferior males, and this is what's happening, and inferior females too. And again, they don't have the third leg of the stool. This is not going to succeed without government deep state oppression. Okay? So, there's Elon. What me worry? Why should he worry? There he goes. Okay. There's 20 billion unaccounted for immigrant outlays, 20 billion green bank outlays, 40 billion here, billion there. It's a lot of money. Anyway, that's my take on it.